Hello, my name is Paysha Takara, and today I will be talking with you about Alex's transition plan. Alex is a 17-year-old male with autism, and in school, Alex does well with each of his subjects. He has received 2 years of Teach Math and can read at grade level. He struggles within reading comprehension and oral expression. However, he is currently enrolled in a community based training program at school where he is doing very well with completing tasks. Also, in addition to that, he has a part time job at a local office supply store after school where he is gaining more experience with completing his tasks. So let's dive into Alex's strengths. So Alex displays appropriate work behavior. He is always punctual for work each day. He's willing to stay late when needed. And Alex is very detail oriented and very diligent in completing his tasks. So he does well with the assignments that are given to him. Alex is viewed as a very valuable employee, and his boss has even expressed that he would like to have Alex work more hours per week after graduation. And he's willing to provide, the necessary support for him as he is working at the store. Alex's preferences currently are working in an office setting where he can work with data entry. And due to his deficit in oral expression, Alex prefers to communicate any problems or concerns within the job setting to a trusted adult, which is currently the school job coach who comes to the job site once a week. I know that this is a concern for mom, that she thinks that Alex will have a trouble and an issue with communicating with his boss once the job coach is no longer around, so we're definitely going to work on that. Alex's interests are getting a paycheck for his hard work and spending his money on fast food and movie rentals from the local rental shop. So now let's talk about his post-secondary goals, like what are the things that we want him to accomplish after he has graduated. So for education and vocational training, following graduation, Alex will enroll. That means that he will join a vocational training program for office setting work or data entry. As far as jobs and employment, following graduation, Alex will work full-time at his local office supply store since he's very, used to them and what they all have to offer him. And he will also work on communicating any concerns to his boss. As far as independent living, as of right now, we feel that Alex is okay living at home, but we want him to work on managing his finances a little bit more to increase that independence so that when he wants to venture out of the nest, then he'll be prepared for that. So with all of that being said, we want to be able to provide support for Alex in making that next step transition. So we have a couple of goals that we're going to focus on and a couple of ways to support him with those goals. I'm going to start by naming the goals, and then I'll name how we're going to support him and who is going to be the people involved. So goal number 1 is given assistive technology, Alex will communicate with his boss and peers on the job in 4 out of 5 interactions. So to support him with that, Alex will practice using a text-to-speech program within AAC to help hold a conversation with others. And of course, those involved will be Alex, the school job coach, which we know that he trusts, parents/guardians, Alex's boss, who is willing to help, his teachers, as well as his peers. Goal number 2 will be upon graduation, Alex will enroll or join in a local vocational rehabilitation agency for job support with 100% accuracy. We want to make sure that Alex has the support that he needs outside of the school job coach that he currently has, as well as other supports. So Alex will start by researching and visiting local rehabilitation agencies to see which one he feels most comfortable with. And once he has found that agency that he likes, we will sign up for services. And this will include Alex, his parents/guardians, school counselor will be able to help with that, teachers, and of course his school job coach if he would like. Goal number 3, giving budgeting tools, Alex will learn to budget his paycheck that he receives from working with 100% accuracy. We want to work on not spending all of our money on fast food or video game rentals because we want to have some independence for when we, eventually get our own place. So Alex will be practicing using a budgeting application such as Mint or Good Budget or any other apps that we find that are more useful for him to use, and we'll use those apps to help keep track of his finances. And in addition to that, he can also take financial literacy classes for support. That can be at the Vocational Rehabilitation Agency, or we can find other programs that will help him with that. And included in this will be, of course, Alex, his parents/guardians, teachers, school counselor, and school job coach. Last but not least, Alex will use a task management application to track the time spent on assigned tasks with 100% accuracy. Alex will use apps such as Rescue Time or even a visual schedule to manage how long he spends on specific tasks. We love that he is very diligent and that he does very well with his work, but we want to make sure that he is taking the time to make sure that he's not spending too long on those tasks. And that's going to be included with Alex, his boss, his co-workers, teachers, parents, and guardians. So we want to make sure that these goals are accomplished and that everything works well for Alex. So we're going to put some strategies to help support him. One of the strategies that we're going to use to communicate with each other would be to have weekly meetings via video call or phone call just to check in on how Alex is doing with his progress. In addition to that, I want Alex to, keep a daily log about how he's feeling with the process and if there's anything else that he, wants us to know when we are having these meetings, because we want him to not forget those different ideas or feelings when these meetings come up. So he'll have that daily log to help him. And as far as giving, more success to the plan, we want to make sure that Alex also has an opportunity to have his input. So we want Alex to complete a questionnaire regarding his interests, his preferences, and thoughts on the future so that those details can be added to the plan. And in addition to that, I want to work personally with Alex on creating the goals. I want these goals to be tailored exactly towards him and his needs. So we want to make sure that he's having as much input as possible. So he'll work with me on creating the goals as well that connect with his interests, his preferences, and so on. Overall, we want the best for Alex and we want his future to be bright and beautiful. So we're going to continue to work together as much as possible. And I thank you for your time.